Did you think that you'd be able to escape this Christmas sweater? Have you been naughty? Have you been nice? It's Christmas Eve, but we're not talking about ice. No, we're talking about MTG Finance. As we get closer to the holidays and this new stimulus, I'm sure... Oh man, there's so much going on in MTG Finance. Today we're talking about the reserve list. We're talking about playtest cards. We're even going to talk about gold border. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where we're going to talk about everything that's going on with Kaldheim Speculation. There's so much to go over on this episode of Market the Gathering as we make it to the end of 2020. Thank God. The video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
For a limited time only, if you join the Patreon at any level, you will receive a holographic Jake and Joel Are Magic sticker. There are only 5 remaining. Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. I'm Jake. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. Today we've got Market the Gathering Christmas Eve edition. You thought you'd be able to escape this Christmas sweater, but oh, you are not going to be able to. I may look like that drunk guy that you run into on a Christmas bar crawl. I'm not going to apologize for it. I have been that guy. It's kind of stupid. We're going to cut that joke. I'm talking to the producer over there. Producer, we're cutting that joke. It sucks. Today we got a fun episode planned. We're going to talk about some reserve list buyouts that are going on in response to Kaldheim. We're talking about original foil variants that are actually scarce. We're going to talk about gold border cards moving forward. Something's going on with playtest cards. There appears to be a lot of secondary market movement and a lot of discussion surrounding these cards. What's worth noting? What is a trap? Make sure to stick around to the end where we're going to talk about Kaldheim and speculation around the new upcoming Magic the Gathering set. Like this is some sort of new groundbreaking set that's not going to follow the same exact trend of every other set in the past. Anyway, if you like the Market the Gathering videos, click like, click subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel with just the click of a button. If you are a fan, check us out on Patreon. It might be a good fit for you. Any level gets you access to the Discord. Everything you need to know is in the description of the video. Well, I know you like looking at the snowman on this vest I'm wearing, but it's time to talk about MTG Finance. Let's get into the video. A lot of discussions happen on this subreddit of 75k members. Wow. This community continues to grow. I've been here for a while, and I remember getting here at like 50k members. So more and more people start to share an interest in speculating on Magic the Gathering cards. You can check out this subreddit. You get a lot of noise here of people trying to pump certain cards so that they can sell them. It's kind of like the Wild West. It's an unregulated market. I'm here to kind of be the Sherpa. As there's so much to sort out, I'm going to focus on the stuff that I find worth noting. However, you can always go over here and check it out yourself. Let's get into the first topic today, which is Winter's Night is spiking. Oh my God. So there's speculation. There's speculation in Kaldheim that there's going to be snow permanents. We just got through the Kaldheim teaser week where we learn about some of the new cards. But as of right now, 0 permanents that affect snow. 0 snow anything. It's all speculation. Winter's Night is seeing a huge spike right now, and this is 6 days ago, so it's calmed down a little bit since then. I've been putting this video together for a few days, but it's just been hectic as it's been the holidays. I meant to get this information to you sooner. I saw this when this was about a 2-day-old post, and Winter's Night is not a particularly great card. I want you to let me know in the comments what you can do with it. It has certain synergies, but the downside is pretty steep. I'm not a big fan of the card. Some of the comments, and we're just going to go over the top comment here. Again, all of these are going to be linked in the description of the video if you want to check that out. People are grasping at straws with some of these buyouts. Card seems really bad and more of a casual card. Casual players are not going to pay $20 for a weak enchantment when there are better and cheaper options. And I know I said I wasn't going to read anything else, but DJ Pad has it right here. This, along with others, is one that seemed to spike every time someone mentions snow, despite it not being that good. And that's kind of like what happens. There is a list, and maybe I need to put it together, like bad reserve list cards that people so desperately want to spike because they have a position in those cards. I would say don't buy in to Winter's Night spike and Winter's Night hype. Never buy into the spike, always sell into the spike and sell into the hype. If you got in early and you got some really cheap Winter's Night copies, then good for you. But I don't think there's much more that we need to go over. You know, people are talking about Ice Cauldron as well. It's got a wall of text. The card is just absolutely jank, but for some reason people continue to like spec on these bad cards. All right, next thing, something that actually matters. This was a neat little post that popped up 11 hours ago as of the filming of this video. Again, it is December 23rd, but you are watching this on Christmas Eve. Urza block reserve list. I'm just going to read the whole post. If you're driving or whatever, let this be your podcast. Hello everyone, I recently noticed an uptrend of reserve list singles in the Urza's block, but more specifically Urza's Destiny, since I own a position on a card I speculated earlier this year, Carnival of Souls. Thought it was undervalued for those wondering. My question is that, are foils causing this huge price swing due to the fact that it's the only set that has reserve list cards and foils? It may be influencing non-foil pricings. There's approximately only 6,800 of each foil rare printed, 180 million print run divided by 15 cards equals 12 million booster packs. 1 in 40 boosters possesses a foil rare, 1 in 44 chance of pulling the specific rare. And the foils that are truly gem mint with no clouding, damage, stains, wear are rarer than hen's teeth. You know, I like this post because I think it's high effort, even though I can see it being a low effort post disguised to be high effort. What I really like is what the user says at the bottom here is this breakdown in the math, and mainly that gem mint with no clouding, damage, stains, wear. Old foils, if you can get ones that have never been played and they have that nice clean surface, because we all have looked at an old foil, something that is passable in a sleeve, but when you pull it out, it just has that clouding all over the surface. But this got me thinking, you know, and we'll go over to eBay really quick. So we are over here on eBay, and I have this set up, foil Urza's Legacy. What you need to know is that Urza's block had the first foils, and it had reserve list cards. And the foils back then were actually rare, whereas you can have a collector booster pack now that has every single card in the pack is foil, or the majority of the cards are foil. Back then, getting a foil was actually rare, and the print quality on the foils was honestly pretty astounding compared to some of the quality that we see on cards these days. The other thing you need to know about Urza's block is that Urza's Saga, which has Gaia's Cradle, does not have foil variants. The foil variants are only in Urza's Legacy and Urza's Destiny. That's why there are no foil Gaia's Cradles that are floating around, as it was printed as a Judge foil. You'll know Urza's Legacy for impactful cards like Grim Monolith and Palinchron, and you'll know Urza's Destiny for powerful cards like Academy Rector, Metalworker, Yavimaya Hollow, and just so many more. Anyway, the non-foil versions of these cards continue to go up in price, while the foil variants are, well, they have a very, very high multiplier. This foil Grim Monolith Urza's Legacy near mint sold for, well, a best offer was accepted, but on December 16th, only a few days ago, whatever a best offer under $5,000 was. A regular Grim Monolith, you can get a good price from like 180 to 200. So the multiplier is pretty notable. So we do have foil Urza's Legacy here. Let's go ahead and make this ended recently, and we'll just look through here and see what people have been buying. What you need to know is if the number is green, that means the card sold for that price. You can also see the date here if you want to check that out as well. And let's just go through here. These are all sorted by recent. So definitely some movement here in foils, and you have to know that some of the movement on these cards has to do with the fact that there are people on the internet that are influencing these buys, much like what I'm talking about right now, which is just letting you know. But over in MTG Finance, you're going to have people that are pushing FOMO, the fear of missing out. We were just talking about Academy Rector. This was $50 for the non-foil version here, and the foil version is like around $400. To give you some sort of idea of how scarce and how rare and how desirable those foil variants are. But what we can see is that there has been a lot of movement in desirable cards like Welder, Grim Monolith, Ring of Gix. It's like a cool card. It kind of reminds me of Icy Manipulator, but it's just not as good in my opinion. The echo is big. another Grim Monolith, and this is all December. I mean, this is December 15th. So as people continue buying up collector products, you do have people that are now putting money into these old foils, these old OG foils. Like, this is a foil Mother of Runes. I mean, that's the OG foil. Now, by all means, this is not reserve list, but just to give you an idea, pretty crazy stuff. The other tab I had pulled up for this was Urza's Destiny. That was just Urza's Legacy that we were looking at. Now here you can see foil Urza's Destiny. We'll go buy it now, and again, also unended recently here. This time we're going to see stuff like Metalworker. Lots of movement. Again, pay attention to these dates, as this is all going to be more recent. Urza's Destiny is known for having a better spread of valuable cards, whereas Urza's Legacy has the Monolith, which is far and away the most impressive old border foil, in my opinion, from Urza's block. But this has, again, a lot of fun stuff. It has Raphellos. It has desirable common and uncommon foils as well. The rares are not as expensive, but the spread is a lot better. Look at the Thran Dynamo. I mean, this card, I remember being able to get that foil for like, God, $15. And I was like, I don't think I need to get the foil. I'll just hold out on it. Rip. It's one of my favorite cards. Repercussion. Pay attention to these old enchantments. Like, look at this enchantment, because I do like a card like Repercussion. Whenever a creature's dealt damage, Repercussion deals that much damage to that creature's controller. Enchantment, sticky, blasphemous act come to mind. Seems good. But yeah, we could go through this, but just kind of like taking you into my brain, letting you know what I think of when I see this stuff. So I guess the point of that is to say that if you aren't having a lot of confidence in the new foil variants that come out, consider picking up some old eternally playable cards instead. I'm not saying go out and buy a $400 Academy Rector, but what we can assume moving forward that, you know, one big thing that is going on right now are stimulus checks. I should have probably mentioned it in the beginning of the video because it's a big deal. A lot of people are going to be getting money. They haven't settled on anything specific yet. It isn't set in stone, but there is going to be some sort of relief package. And so while cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin continue to rise, I have family members with Bitcoin. We constantly monitor that. We expect Bitcoin to continue to go up. And collectibles are the same thing. People would rather have their money tied up in collectibles than, I don't know, sitting in a bank account. I'm not telling you that this is the best way to do it. I'm telling you what a lot of people do, and something that I think about. You know, I remember picking up 2 Gaia's Cradles in 2017, along with 2 Tolarian Academies. And I remember getting 2 Cradles and 2 Tolarian Academies for $300 total in 2017. And so the turnaround on that has been immense. I sold one of the Cradles for $230. That recouped, you know, almost my entire investment. And I sold one of the Tolarian Academies for, I believe, around $40 a couple years ago. The Cradle would have been like 2018. And now I still have that Academy and that Cradle in the collection, and they continue to appreciate value. I'm not saying it's a fail-safe, but a lot of these old cards seem solid. So this one was really nice. What we need to know about mystery boosters is it came out right before COVID got in full swing. We're talking about playtest cards here. And if you don't know about playtest cards, they are a promotional kind of add-in where Mystery Boosters Retail Edition has a foil guaranteed in every pack. The Convention Edition has a playtest card guaranteed in every pack. These cards are not playable in sanctioned tournaments, but they are highly desirable for Cube and certain EDH circles. This post 2 days ago looks like someone cleaned out TCG Player of all the playtest cards. About a month ago, I was looking at adding playtest cards to my cube and had made a general list. Look today to go ahead and order them since it's the end of the year and almost all of them have next to no listings, and the medians far outstrip the market price sales. So which one of you was it? LOL. And top comment here says, whomever it was, they're probably going to wind up being very sad, as I think it's a near certainty that there are a lot more of those convention boxes gathering dust in a warehouse somewhere and will make their way to the public sooner or later. It's like that situation a few years ago when a couple of Judge promos that made their way into the world early sold for outrageous prices, and then the value of those cards dropped like a rock once supply was opened up. It's a lesson in scarcity. And I agree. I don't have a position of playtest cards. I bought one Mirrored Lotus for around $60. I bought it, God, a while ago, shortly after that product came out. Remember, Mystery Boosters was immensely affected by COVID. The Convention Edition Mystery Booster was supposed to be at conventions all throughout this year. That product is most likely sitting. So yes, as you know, like we've talked about, as certain variants fall out of the limelight from like new standard sets, people like the reserve list start to seek out different investments, different kinds of perspectives. They start to go, oh, well, what is rare and scarce? And some of these cards, let's go ahead and get into it and talk about them. We're over here and we're looking at Sliv Mizzet on eBay. This is the lowest possible price for this card, $208.89. Here's a sealed Mystery Booster Convention Edition box, $890. Here's MTG Playtest Card, buy it now, price plus shipping, lowest first. And we just start to see like they're all pretty expensive as far as everything that's buy it now. We get past some of the old ones, but you see anything that came out of one of these Mystery Booster Convention packs has a pretty high premium right now, which does make me believe that someone went through and probably just did a buyout. Here's Mirrored Lotus MTG lowest price. So the copy of the card that I got has gone up in price, but I do agree that once more of this product is open, these cards are going to go down in price. That's how scarcity works. And is this a very niche product that is likely not going to be reprinted again? Yeah, probably so, but that doesn't mean that there's not a boatload of it waiting to be open now. And who knows, maybe they do just reprint it again. Maybe it's the kind of thing that they just add to, like the list. So what do I think of this product? I do think it's collectible. I think there are people that are going to pay an arm and a leg for a set. If you can get a full set of every playtest card, I think that that's going to be really valuable to certain collectors. I think certain cards, like any set, like Mirrored Lotus and Sliv Mizzet, are going to be the kind of cards that end up being the top end. But all of those other cards around that $30 range that are just creeping up on these exorbitant prices just because of scarcity. Oh man, like I said earlier in the video, it is never ever good to buy into hype. It's always best to sell into it. So if you have these playtest cards and you're not using them, go ahead and sell them. I remember I could have bought some of them for like $2 or $3, but at this point they do continue to go up in price, but we will likely see them again in the future. Use your best judgment. In line with playtest cards, gold border cards, and this comes from our Discord. Just somebody brought it up. All right, so we're searching gold border survival of the fittest. Let's get past these first listings, and then we start to see survival of the fittest, very powerful CEDH reserve list card, $20 for the gold border. This has slowly been creeping up. You'll most likely remember gold border Guy's Cradle was around like 40 to 60 like a year ago, and now the lowest price for a gold border Cradle is $140, and that is for a non-tournament legal card. Shenanigans. But we do see Gaia's Cradle here, price plus shipping lowest first when we get to an actual Cradle. Here's an English copy, played, heavy played, reserve list, $549.99. And so you have a card now that is over a fifth of the price that isn't even tournament legal, that gold border Gaia's Cradle. And people who want the format to thrive think that these gold border cards should just be legal in sanctioned tournaments. A lot of tournaments just allow them. I mean, the price barrier for a Gaia's Cradle, if you have a creature-centric deck, this card is just an absolute house, an absolute monster in the deck. So people who are looking for those best in slot choices are going to pay the premium. What do you think about gold border cards? Let me know in the comments. Let's look at the Grim Monolith, which is another good EDH card and a lot more tame price. You know, this card is more niche and it's good in certain situations and it's bad in certain situations, unlike a Gaia's Cradle, which is just going to be always good in a creature deck. I mean, it does nothing if you don't have a dude on the board, but a huge difference in price between the gold border Monolith and the gold border Cradle. But yeah, anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about that. So lastly, let's talk about Kaldheim and Infect Specs. So the cat is out of the bag, Vorinclex. What you need to know is that there have been some leaks. There have been a couple spoilers that suggest that Infect could get some heat. Like anything. We were talking about Winter's Night earlier. Any specs that are based around a new standard set are exactly that. It's all speculative. It's all hard to tell until it actually happens. This post is linked in the description of the video if you want to go read it. I don't want to spoil anything. We're not going to spoil Vorinclex here. That card does exist, so if you want to see the Kaldheim Vorinclex spoiler or leak, you can Google it. Basically, I just want to talk about this because these are the main topics of speculation that I've seen, and let me know if I missed anything. But Kaldheim, Infect, Snow Tribal. We have not seen anything that affects snow thus far. So Winter's Night reserve list goes up in price simply because scarcity. It's like a really bad Naya enchantment that you don't want a lot of the time. I mean, it could be good, I guess, but not great. Infect Specs. Vorinclex makes a reappearance in Kaldheim. Whether the rest of the Praetors or any other card from Phyrexia for that matter will be in the set remains to be seen. In the teaser trailer, we see some kind of glistening oil, perhaps Phyrexian oil. So this is all speculation, and it could very well be that Vorinclex is a one-off. That being said, a return to Phyrexia is inevitable, I would wager 2022. Ooh, wager 2022. This got me thinking about possible spec targets, cards with Infect being the main one. I know the mechanic rates pretty highly on the Storm scale as it is very parasitic. Even if Infect isn't a mechanic, just the announcement of a return to Phyrexia would cause prices to go haywire, and I agreed because of subreddits like MTG Finance, but we're here and we're sorting out the noise. So like, then they have a list of Infect cards. So if you don't have any of these Infect cards, a lot of them are very cheap. If you want to go pick them up, if you think Infect is the kind of thing that you've been putting it off, you're like, you know what I really want to do that I haven't done is build that Infect deck. And now it sounds like the Infect cards are about to go up in price. I wouldn't say go crazy with Infect cards. I'm not going to go crazy buying Infect cards, but I'm just saying if that's something you're interested in, if you want to play Infect and not spec into the Infect cards, now might be a good time to buy those cards. And then finally, Tribal, the whole Tribal thing. Whenever there's a new set announced and it looks to be centered around certain tribes or certain different creature types, there's always a list of cards like Adaptive Automaton, Door of Destinies, Coat of Arms. The list goes on. And we actually, I was putting together a list, and then from our Discord, MTG Pack Cracking, one of our patrons, we have a great community on Discord. Again, any level in the Patreon gets you into the Discord. He popped in with a really nice little list that I want to share with you. So again, thank you to MTG Pack Cracking for this awesome list. He didn't care to be credited, so I'm going to do it anyway. Some of these are obscure. Adaptive Automaton, and Zarin Ruins, Belb's Portal, Circle of Solace, Cover of Darkness, Door of Destinies, Engineered Plague, Etchings of the Chosen, Icon of Ancestry, Kindred Boon, Kindred Charge, Kindred Discovery, Kindred Dominance, Kindred Summons, Metallic Mimic, Mirror of the Forebears, Morphon the Boundless, Obelisk of Erd, Pax Disdain, Plague Engineer, Radiant Destiny, Riders of Gavany, Shared Triumph, Species Specialist, Steely Resolve, Umori the Collector, Urza's Incubator, and Vanquisher's Banner. And then a patron actually said that list and the cards that support Tribal is a good pickup as long as you don't go overboard. EDH alone will drive future demand. Here's what you need to know about that list, and it is a great list. It's a great Tribal list. I hope it's helpful. As Wizards of the Coast prints more Tribal stuff, expect cards like this to pop up. Will the foil Urza's Incubator in the OG border from Urza's Destiny have more demand than any Urza's Incubator that's printed in a future Commander product? Yes, 100%. But don't expect these cards to not be reprinted unless it's reserve list, in which case it won't. Well, what an episode. I know that's a lot. It's been a great year. Thank you to everybody for helping us get to 10,000 subscribers. It's absolutely monumental. I honestly can't believe it happened. And every day I'm just like, holy crap, that was real. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of Market the Gathering. If you did, click like, click subscribe. It's the best way to support the channel with just the click of a button. Wow, we had a lot to go over and expect it to get even crazier as people start to get more stimulus money. We'll be there to cover it. What do you want us to cover? Let us know in the comments. I'm Jake with Jake and Joel Are Magic. Until next time, tapped out.